You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.
This is Rod Mahood, your in-game voice of the Niagara IceDogs, and you're listening to the Dog Pound Podcast on the Armchair GM Sports Network, your podcast source for all game analysis, team interviews, and up-to-date news regarding the Niagara IceDogs.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rod Mahood, and hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another installment of the Dog Pound Podcast, right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network, your August 27, 2020 edition, your source for North American sports coverage by sports fans, for sports fans, delivered to you right here in the beautiful Niagara region. Follow us on social media for updates, giveaways, and sponsor promo codes every month by searching Twitter at Armchair GM Pod, Instagram Armchair GM Sports Network, and Facebook by searching Armchair GM's Network. As well, listen to us on our main platform, which is Spreaker.com, and the free Spreaker app by searching the Armchair GMs. As well, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, CastBox, and Deezer by searching the Armchair GM Sports Network. We're on many different platforms for you there. Please give us a subscription and a like on all those platforms if you have them. And lastly, check out our beautiful user-friendly website, armchairgmsports.com, for all things regarding our network, articles, podcast episodes, sponsors, and contributors. Everything's on that website. Make sure you're checking it out. As always, I'm one of your hosts of the Dog Pound Podcast, Cappy. Follow me on Twitter at Capootz13 with a Canadian Z. And I'm always joined on the Ice Dogs portion of the network by my co-host and co-owner of the Armchair GM Sports Network, Kyle.
Hello.
You can follow him on Twitter at JustKyle51. Kyle, we're back for another big Dog Pound Podcast interview. We're here for part 2 of our off-season interviews with Mr. Joey Burke, the general manager of the Niagara IceDogs. How excited are you to talk to Joey once again here and get his insight on some of the things that have happened in the last 3 months here since we last talked?
Well, now that I know it wasn't like last month, like we were discussing off air here, because I honestly thought we just talked to him, but because of what's been going on, I've lost all sense of time, and it's actually back in May, believe it or not, to myself here. But I am excited to talk to Joey again. It's always a good talk with him, even knowing now that he's a big fan of our show, so that's also a bonus there. But I'm excited to talk to him again, and you know what, just more excited to finally getting to talk to him in person, hopefully when things get back to normal. Obviously, we're going to try to talk to him about the OHL return to play action coming in December, and hopefully we can maybe interview him in person. That'd be great. But always nice to have that luxury of doing it over our Skype or the phone. So I'm excited to talk to him about the big changes that went over the Dogs in the offseason and the excitement that's surrounding this team. And my inner fan is coming out. I'm marking out right now.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So we got a lot to talk about with Joey. We got about 8 questions for him. So sit back, enjoy, and here's the interview with the general manager of the Niagara IceDogs, Mr. Joey Burke. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another installment of the Dog Pound Podcast, right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network. On today's episode, we are joined once again by the general manager of the Niagara IceDogs, Mr. Joey Burke. Joey, Brandon, and Kyle with you here. Thanks again for taking the time to join us on the show. I can't believe it actually has been 3 months since our last talk, and days have been kind of all out of sorts during this pandemic.
Yeah, well, no kidding, and the time certainly has flown by, but it's my pleasure, guys, and thrilled to be back on here again.
Yeah, it was funny when we were discussing who we were going to have as a guest on our next show, and I messaged Kyle last week, and I said, maybe Joey, we should try to get Joey Burke back on, and he goes, didn't we just interview him last month? And I said, Kyle, that interview was back in May, so... I mean,
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it feels. I guess it feels like yesterday we were interviewing you, but it's great to have you back on. And you know what? It's August, and usually we'd be getting ramped up for the season starting in September and October, and the hockey season starting up. Just how different is it right now? With it's going to be a few months before the hockey season starts back up again, if it does in December. What is it like right now, where it's the end of August and where you'd usually be getting all the preparations ready for the season?
Yeah, you know what? That's a great point, and it's pretty funny. I actually said to my wife yesterday, it's literally we would be less than a week out from the start of training camp. It's unbelievable to think about. The players in a typical year would be arriving today and tomorrow and getting in and settled into their billet homes for the weekend, and we would hit the ground running, so to speak, with camp starting on Tuesday. So I mean, it really is kind of an odd scenario for us all here. Obviously, the way the summer, has kind of gone through for everyone, it really goes to the back of the mind when you think about the schedule of training camp. But certainly, now that we approach the week that it would have been starting, it really is an odd thing. And, certainly not ideal from anyone's end. But, to get a start date, even though it is pushed back a little bit, is something we're definitely excited about. But, I mean, it is weird. I look at the calendar, and here we are in late August, and we're still 3 months away. It's a bit of an unsettling feeling, and one that I certainly hope does not become a trend moving forward for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully it's not a long-term thing. And getting into the first bit here, I don't mean to start off the interview on a somber note, but the entire hockey community lost a special member of its family last week. Hockey Hall of Famer Dale Hawerchuk passed away with his battle with stomach cancer. The legendary Winnipeg Jet, Buffalo Sabre, Hockey Canada standout, and most recently the head coach of the OHL's Barrie Colts from 2010 to 2019, who are a rival team within the Central Division for the IceDogs. Just how much did Dale mean not only to the NHL but the OHL, as he gave back after his playing career, trying to mentor and help young hockey players achieve their goals of playing in the NHL one day?
Well, absolutely, and I think you really hit the nail on the head there. Dale Hawerchuk is as incredible of a human being as I've honestly ever had the privilege of knowing. Certainly in awe of his accomplishments on the ice, and that goes without saying, but I really got to know Dale, from being a young assistant GM in this league. And he really, we would play Barrie. I'd see him in the dressing rooms. He would take me under the wing, so to speak, and, speak to me as if I was a, 2-decade NHL Hall of Famer, just like he was. And that was the kind of guy that he was, is that everyone was on his level. He never looked down on anyone. Such a strong, mentally individual, so kind, just such an incredible human being that really, I certainly didn't know him as well as most. And a lot of the guys who have been through this league for quite some years now, but certainly the impact, even in my short time of knowing him, that he made on me, is incredible. And it really, I felt it. When I heard the news, really I was devastated, and everyone in our family and the IceDogs organization, of course, was as well. And it really is the thing. That's the impact that he really had, on everyone, everywhere, everywhere he went. Just a magnificent man, lucky from my end to have known him. And certainly from the OHL's perspective, lucky to have had him as a coach, an unbelievable coach, and certainly, envious of those guys in Barrie who were able to learn under him, because there really aren't many better than him. And certainly we will all miss him moving forward. And been a tough week for everyone in our league, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like, he didn't want to leave Barrie either. I mean, he was basically forced to when he had to go for his therapy and everything. Just, is there anything that sticks out to you with all those battles with Barrie over the years, as them being a Central Division rival with the IceDogs? Just, when you're in the heat of the battle against these guys, it's tough. But is there anything that you'll remember from Dale Hawerchuk just coaching against those Barrie Colts teams over the years?
Yeah, you know what, absolutely. And it's a funny thing because really, not to disparage any of the other teams in the division, but, traditionally over the past kind of 5-10 years, it's been either Barrie or Niagara's division. One of us will be down, the other one will be up, and we kind of go on rotating cycles a little bit that way. But there really has become, pretty passionate and intense rivalry between the Colts and the IceDogs. So you're dead right there. But it's funny, even with the animosity of the organizations and on the ice and everything that goes into it, it would, whether we won in Barrie or Barrie won or they beat us down here or we did, Dale would always talk into the coach's office afterwards, shoot the breeze with the guys and, just kind of chat with us for a bit before getting on the bus. And it was just those little things that, really just showed you the kind of character that he had. And he always made an effort, no matter what the score was. He's a very unique guy that way. And certainly from my end, definitely learned a lot from the way he would handle not only wins but losses as well, and certainly try to apply that, in the way that we do things here in Niagara.
That's great. He'll definitely be missed in all levels of hockey. That's for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You actually wrote a letter that was posted on the IceDogs website back in late July. Just discuss why you felt that you needed to put that out for the fan base, and why is it important for you as something that you wanted to address?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I certainly put a lot of things out and have done a lot. So off the top of my head, is it the one just, ensuring that there would be kind of IceDogs hockey again, and that we would all get through the kind of situation we're all going through? So exactly. And I mean, it just became, it was, with the growing uncertainty, of the world and everything, it just, it seems you almost need kind of that semblance or sense of a return to normalcy. And I really think, as the months have gone on and we've got into August now, I think we can all as a community and a country really, see that the horizon is finally looking brighter for us. And I really just wanted to make sure that everyone knew that this isn't something that is going to last forever, and we will all get through it. We'll all get through it together. And it was important for me, really to instill in the fans and the great people of the Niagara region that IceDogs hockey will be back. And obviously we're working on the contingency plans. We're working on fans. We're working on all the ins and outs of it. But at the end of the day, we felt it was important for everyone to know that, there is an escape coming, and this, area of sports that people, love and enjoy isn't going to go away forever, and we will get back to normal, and things will kind of continue, and that sort of thing. So certainly from my end, I just wanted to, somewhat calm the nerves of the fans, but not only that, it's the players, and, the anxiety levels of everyone coming into this season. It's just, with all the uncertainty, has been something, really that hasn't been ideal on anyone. So it's just, the closer we got to really kind of getting a firm hold on what the season would start to look like, I just wanted to make sure the fans knew how hard everyone was working and how excited we all are to get going again here.
No, for sure. I definitely felt it too, even though member of media speaking, but my inner fan, that I grew up watching like the IceDogs as a fan before becoming obviously a member of the media. I definitely felt it, and you can rest assured that your message was felt with my inner fan there.
No, well, that's great, and certainly, that was the intention behind it, and it remains true to this day. While we're certainly not going to get started with camp next week like we would have hoped, it's, you can't rush anything in a landscape like this.
Right.
We all know now that we will be back December 1st, and again, the return to normalcy is coming. We just all need to be strong and continue to fight through this thing, because we're going to get there as a group, that's for sure.
And what have the last 3 months been like, Joey, for the organization since we last spoke? Obviously, there's been lifts on certain activities as we continue to slowly reopen as a society in further phases. Have there been many things that you've been able to get done since the last time that we spoke in May that you may not have had the opportunity to do at that time?
Yeah, so certainly, since we spoke last, we had the import draft, which obviously was a massive one for us. And, not only being able to select as high as we did, but to be able to pick Gushkin and get him signed and committed here is an absolute home run. I mean, it's really, anytime you make the kind of trades like we did last year, and you're going to end up towards the bottom of the standings, the entire goal of it is to come away with two players like Pano Fimis and Daniil Gushkin, have them locked up, have them ready to go. It's exactly what we've done here. It's a dream scenario for us. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's funny. We probably really would have taken Gushkin first and Fimis first overall in their respective drafts. So, we really got the guys at the top of our board. So it's been a very, very exciting kind of an offseason that way for us. That it's really, we were a young group last year who, kind of had to deal with the outcome and the shockwaves, so to speak, from the trade deadline. But now, we're excited as heck to get going. We've got the great young D-core all returning. Up front, we've made some exciting additions. Obviously brought in Murphy in a trade. We expect timing to be healthy and coming back. So, it all leads to, the trend that it's going to be an exciting year, and certainly has been a very exciting offseason for us.
Yeah. Even as members of the media, we're very excited with the changes that have gone on with this team, and we're certainly excited to be covering the IceDogs again, and especially going into this season, especially. But one of those bright moments I think over the last 3 months was definitely to introduce Pano Fimis and, like you said, Gushkin as well to Niagara earlier this month. I believe it was around August 13th. Can you just quickly touch on what it was like for you to finally show him the arena, the locker room, and what he can expect from the Niagara community now?
Yeah, you know what? It was great, and really to see the smile on Pano's face, through the mask, of course. But, when he came out there, it really was an incredibly encouraging and exciting moment for us. Billy and I were here, and again, we had to keep the group small, so it was just Billy and I who met the family and brought them through. And again, you can never quite mimic exactly what it's like on a draft day for these guys. And as I alluded to the last time, I'll never kind of get over that Pano and Leonard and Cook and these guys never had their chance, to really have their moment in the sun on their draft day. But certainly, getting Pano out, failing out was the second best thing. And really, it was fantastic. We had already had him signed. The excitement was there. We already have such a great rapport with him. But honestly, to be able to get him out to the rink for the first time, it was incredible. And to see him look around, the dressing room he'll be in and the facilities and the bowl and just everything, and see and hear his excitement is something really that's a lot of fun, from my end, certainly to be a part of. And as an organization, this is a game-changing guy that, we couldn't be more thrilled about bringing in. And actually, it's funny. I was joking with Pano and his parents because literally the day that everything was canceled was the day before they were scheduled to come out. So we literally, I think everything ended on March 13th, and we literally had them scheduled for a visit and a tour on the 14th. So it was literally the next day. So we were just joking at how the timing, the whole way along really hasn't worked out for us. But certainly, with all the issues that we were able, both from their end and our end to work through and be able to get them signed and get them drafted, during everything else going on, certainly was great to be able to accomplish. But then to finally, get them into the rink and really kind of make it official in a sense, was something that was extremely exciting to do.
Oh yeah, he must. There's one thing too that obviously you couldn't recreate while he was there, but to hear what the noise would have been like in that arena with a packed IceDog crowd and how the fan base reacts to this team and when it's in the building and it's a full house. Yeah, I bet he's certainly not. I bet he's probably not going to be ready for it, but I'm sure he's excited to hear what that's all about.
Well, absolutely. You know what? It really has become the best recruiting tool for us as an organization. I mean, it's, I use Alec Leonard as an example because he's a recent one. So we brought him in this year, and it's literally before I'm even in my car after the game, he's texted me just saying, oh my God, what an atmosphere that he's never experienced. And it would be his absolute dream to be able to play in front of a crowd like this next year. And it's just, that is it's not an anomaly. That's the majority. You bring these guys out, you do the big recruitment pitches, you sit with them, you meet with them, you do all this, and then it's really, you hope you did a good job, you hope you represented the organization well, and you made it seem that this is an organization that these guys want to be a part of, and I think that's something we do a great job at. But certainly from my end, I actually have fun when I know I have recruits in the building and, we do something electric on the ice, the building's going nuts. I always make a point to look over at the recruits and just see how they're taking it all in. And 100% of the time, you can see it in their eyes that it's just unbelievable. And, maybe they're in Toronto and they've taken in a game in Mississauga, but don't know what to expect when the IceDogs score, when they come into a building like this. And it really becomes a lot of fun. And then again, it's great for these young guys to see it and, get a small inkling kind of what it's going to look like for him next year. And again, we weren't able to get Pano out in time, but certainly being as highly touted as he was, a number of other teams had got him out. So I'm sure he has a bit of a feel of it. And certainly there's not a doubt in our mind that come December, however many fans we can have, it'll be loud, exciting, and he'll be ready to go.
Yeah, I know he was really looking forward to that when we talked to him just after he was drafted. He's disappointed that he wasn't able to come out, but luckily now he had that opportunity, and hopefully he'll really experience what the Niagara IceDogs fan base and the community is going to be like. Hopefully it's a special place that he can continue to develop into a young adult here.
No, absolutely. And it's funny. I even said to him, I talked to a lot of the guys, and usually I'll bring him out onto the bench kind of during the warm-ups or, obviously if it's in an off month, just, bring him out and it's quiet out there. But it's funny. I'll always tell them exactly how knowledgeable and passionate and smart and into the game our fans are and loud. And it's really, it couldn't be truer. I mean, it's, I always joke with the players that it's the only place in the league where, if the puck's lost in your skates, it's not just your teammates in the bench. literally have 5,500 people screaming feet. Oh, I mean, it's just not in tune to the game. You know, it really is a funny thing that it's, you know, there's not a doubt in my mind. We absolutely have the best fans in the league. And, you know, these young players, it takes them about one shift to realize that once they get here. And I know these young guys will feel the exact same way.
Mm-hmm. So with all that exciting news, we're going to take our first commercial break on the show today, and we're going to come back with more of our interview with the Niagara IceDogs general manager, Mr. Joey Burke. So we'll be right back here on the Dog Pound podcast, right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network. Carmine's Pizzeria Italiano, serving traditional-style Italian pizzas made with the freshest, top-quality ingredients. Loaded subs and their famous chicken wings. Winners of the Reader's Choice Diamond Award, 4 years running from Niagara this week for Best Pizza and Wings in Niagara Falls. Home of the best tray and wing combo in town for the price and quality. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Located on the corner of Drummond Road and Dunn Street. Available for call-ahead pickup or delivery at 905-374-4400. Make sure to like them on Facebook and view their website for their menu at carmine'spizzeria.ca. Carmine's Pizzeria Italiano. Way too good. As we all adjust to this new world that we're living in today, masks are now mandatory, and Niagara's own Custom PPE is Canada's leading face mask provider. Visit them online at customppe.ca and choose between several mask options with different colors and sizes. Add your organization, company, or team logo so you make your face masks unique. Available to purchase online 24/7 at customppe.ca and shipped within 1 week. They have the best prices and quickest turnaround in Canada, and no order is too big or too small. Also offering custom floor stickers as well as face and counter shields for your business or workplace. Visit customppe.ca and use the code ARMCHAIR at checkout for 20% off your custom or blank face mask today. Custom PPE, Canada's leading face mask provider. Attention job seekers, if you are currently looking for work in the Niagara region, you owe it to yourself to check out the services provided by the Niagara Employment Help Center, located at 6100 Thoroldstone Road, Niagara Falls, directly across from the Camisos Plaza. Their free services include resume and cover letter writing, community resource and referral information, local labor market information, job search strategies, assistance with clarifying employment training and career goals, employment counseling and job search support, second career information and registration assistance, and all their services are currently provided by appointment only. So give them a call at 905-358-0021 or visit their website at ehc.on.ca, the Niagara Employment Help Center. This Employment Ontario program is funded by the Government of Ontario. J&L Flooring is a Niagara-based specialty flooring and design company. They take great pride in providing elite customer service and support. They are a specialty flooring and decor boutique shop with a beautiful showroom, great pricing, and a wide variety and truly unique selection of products. All their products are environmentally friendly and responsibly produced, so you can feel great about your flooring choices. Their goal as a local business is to build authentic relationships based on honesty and integrity that they foster with respect and authenticity, offering unique and wide range of quality products presented by a knowledgeable and patient team. They connect with their customers to simplify the process to make their life easier and to make their homes beautiful. Visit them at 4424 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls, or find out more at jnlflooring.com. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. through 5 p.m., and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. 905-358-3299 J&L Flooring. The Spicy Olive Bar and Grill is located on the top of Clifton Hill and just a 5-minute walk from the majestic Niagara Falls. It is conveniently nestled in the heart of the tourist district. A family-owned and operated business, the Spicy Olive opened its doors in May of 2003 and has since been established as an authentic and unique Italian restaurant and bar. Its rustic ambiance and time-worn finishing provide a warm and inviting dining experience. Offering an array of delicious dishes, they specialize in authentic Italian cuisine, homemade sauces, fresh ingredients, and consistently providing a strong foundation on which they build their menu. As night falls, the Spicy Olive shifts to a lively lounge where drinks and live music come together to make a perfect evening. For more than 15 years, they have provided not only for their dedicated locals, but their customers from all over the world with authentic Italian food and great live entertainment. Open daily 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. for dinner and till 2 a.m. for drinks. Check out their new menu and book reservations on their website at Spicy Olive Bar and Grill, it's with an E at the end, .com, or call 905-371-2323 for reservations as well. The Spicy Olive Bar and Grill. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second part of our Dog Pound podcast right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network. On today's episode, we are very pleased to be joined by the general manager of the Niagara IceDogs, Mr. Joey Burke, continuing with our interview here. And Joey, continuing to build off what you have accumulated this offseason, you also recently made the trade with Erie, acquiring goaltender Daniel Murphy in exchange for a third-round pick in 2024 and a conditional sixth-round pick in the 2021 OHL Priority Draft. Murphy started last year for Erie, and the elephant in the room is that you obviously have a plethora of goaltenders already on the roster. Why did you feel that this move was for Murphy was necessary to add him to the mix for the goalie competition? And does this move have anything to do with Tuukka Rask's status as he continues to rehab from his horrific injury last season?
Yeah, so very good question. First and foremost, because I know a lot of people have kind of had this on their mind, it is no reflection on Tynan at all. It is not a statement that Tynan's not going to be ready to go. In fact, quite the contrary, he's proven, that we fully expect he will be at over 100% come training camp in November. So we don't expect really to kind of have any issues with him that way. It's more so, it's kind of twofold. One, we felt that we wanted to provide Tuukka with the support that he didn't have to feel coming off a horrific injury. He had to be the guy every night and absolutely take command, and there's no wiggle room or anything of that nature. So certainly that, became a factor into it. The second part, is Murphy, in my mind, is an elite goaltender in this league. He's always brought it against us. I've watched him closely since he became a starter there 3 years ago. Again, last year on their team, I don't think he got the credit maybe he deserved. We moved a few guys to Erie last year, and Hunter and Sosa, both of them just give absolutely world-class reports on this guy. They're just on the ice, off the ice, mentally, everything is world-class with him. So we're certainly extremely excited to bring him in that way. And then the other thing is, we have a crowded crease, no doubt about it. We're going to have to figure out what to do, with some of these guys. But certainly from our end, it's, we're not going to accept mediocrity this year. And, we did what we did last year to put ourselves in a position to be on the upswing in a huge way. And we want to make some noise, and we want to be towards the top half of the conference, and we want to win this year. And in doing that, you need to make some tough moves and bring in some guys that you feel, might give you more. So certainly, to be completely honest, while the crease is quite crowded right now, there certainly should be some interest in some of the guys we have here. We have a couple months to really kind of figure it out and hash it out what the plan is moving forward. But certainly, having a lot of a good thing is never really an issue in my mind. And I think we've set ourselves up very well from, really from the net out here that we can make some noise this year. And it's very exciting that way.
Mm-hmm. And how happy were you to see the video posted last week and the update yesterday on the NiagaraIceDogs.net website of Tuukka saying that he will be back, where he's doing all he can with his training and rehab in Chicago? Just how confident are you on his status moving forward with what is going to be a loaded goalie room and his resiliency to get back so quick after what was really a life-threatening injury?
Yeah, well, absolutely. And you know what? First and foremost, I think you nailed it there. And it's pretty funny. I was delighted, to see that video. And obviously, I talk to Tux all the time and his trainers and kind of get the status updates and know how well he's been progressing. But to actually see him on the ice for the first time, in the net, I should say, actually making saves and reacting, was a tremendously exciting thing to see. And again, even more so than that is that, he looks himself, and you look at his anchors and his push-offs and you look at his legs. I mean, he looks, not only does he look stronger physically, upper body-wise, I found, but, he looks in the legs that he hasn't lost any strength and that he'll be able to do it. And I certainly think, even in the small clips I saw, the fluidity is there and the quickness is there. And I really think, he will physically be back, 100% prior to camp. I think the big thing anytime with an injury like this becomes more of the mental side. But honestly, I said it last year shortly after it happened that really, I genuinely believe it. If there's any player who can come back from a horrific, life-threatening injury like this, it is Tuukka Tynan. I mean, he's the kind of guy, that absolutely is a warrior and really doesn't let anything faze him. That it's, there's not a doubt in my mind. He will put this into the back burner. He'll move forward. He'll be mentally ready, physically ready. We couldn't be more excited, to get him back here.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we spoke to your brother, actually, and head coach of the IceDogs, Billy Burke, a few weeks back about how excited he was about the new crop of young players that are coming into this organization. I know you were able to touch on most of them in our last interview, but since then, we also picked up in the CHL import draft. You were able to select 4th overall and picked Daniil Gushin, the Russian-born right winger. What excites you about him and how his skill set fits in this growing group of dynamic players?
Yeah, everything. Everything. This guy is going to delight everyone who comes to watch him. I think he's going to rip apart the OHL this year. I think he's going to, if he doesn't get in the first round of the show, I think he's going to go in the second round. And even as an undersized guy, it's quite a statement, to be adamant that he's going to go that high, but I really think he will. And I think at the end of the day, the number one thing that he does better than anyone is just he excels with his skill level. His vision is elite. And, quite frankly, he really is one of the most pure skilled 2002 born players on the planet. Brings intensity every shift, can absolutely rip the puck. He's a goal scorer. His vision is elite. He's very creative with the puck. He's a dog on the bone away from it. Plays physical. He really is a guy that does absolutely everything well, and he's going to fit immediately into our top line, play a huge role for us, and we're confident he's going to do a great job, so we're very excited about it.
Oh, yeah. I've watched a couple of highlight reel videos with him on YouTube, actually, as soon as we drafted him to see what he was about, and I could say I was very, very impressed on his skill set and how just how professional he looks on the puck when he has it. He looks like he's going to be a very nice addition to this team. We also talked to your coach, to Coach Billy, your brother there. He said he thinks every day about fantasy booking his lineup on a whiteboard and what it's potentially going to look like. How anxious are you in regards as a GM and the person who's responsible for piecing this together and making these moves and what's necessary to build off a young core and assemble through the draft?
Yeah, we're extremely excited, and that's why, really going into it last year, it was, we love the makeup of our young back end. We knew the only one we would lose, was Elijah Roberts coming into this season. We love what Isaac Enright was able to do last year. I think he's a guy who's criminally underrated. I think he'll be a top 3 NHL round draft pick once this season comes to a close. Really a guy who quietly does everything well, and, the numbers weren't there. But again, it's unheard of to have on a younger team, a team towards the bottom of the standings, to have a 16-year-old defenseman playing first pair minutes every night against every team's first line. That's insane. That does not happen at our level. So I really don't think that quite gets maybe the credit he deserves. So certainly with the back end, we couldn't be more thrilled. With the goaltending, especially now that we've added Murphy to the mix, couldn't be more thrilled. And then we knew, we had some holes we needed to address up front, and I think we're just about there now. So certainly with the young guys, that we've spoken about, and in particular, is world class. And then again, to add a guy like Gushin is tremendous. And it really is, as I alluded to earlier, it's exactly what you want to kind of target and build around, anytime you do end up towards the bottom of the standing. So we're thrilled that way. Without kind of alluding to too much, are we 100% done yet? I don't know. But certainly if the puck was to drop as normal and camp was on Tuesday, I would certainly be very excited at the work we've done to this point, not forgetting that obviously we brought in Butler and Peters, and Peters got injured right away, and I think he's got huge untapped potential that he's going to shock a ton of people this year. So really, we're extremely excited about this group. We're still a younger team on the whole, but we're hungry, and I genuinely believe we're going to excite and really shock a lot of people and be on the upswing in a huge way this year. So we're certainly very excited to get going. We love this group and certainly can't wait for December again.
Well, you definitely got me excited with that cliffhanger you just left us with. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what the future holds with that. But going off of that, we talk about Pano and Gushin a lot here. But how encouraging was it that you now have been able to come to terms with most, if not all, of the draft picks that you selected in the most recent OHL draft? Them wanting to buy in and be a part of this organization that builds back up the ranks of the OHL into contender status once again.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And I think it's been incredibly exciting. I think it's a huge testament, really. Again, I've alluded to it earlier, but I think it's a huge testament really to the pedigree that our program has. I truly believe Niagara is a place that players want to be a part of. Players want to play here. They like what we're about. They like our organization. So really, I think it's a huge testament to that. And again, to be able to sign the top 5 round picks, before August hits is very exciting. Again, Wisdom, a guy, our 6th round pick, has done some great things this summer. And again, would likely be a year away from really making us. But there's another guy, who very well could be deserving of a contract himself. So you could get your top 6 round picks really signed. And that's something we're looking at. And then obviously to get really a guy like Mission to sign, is just tremendous. And from our end, quite frankly, it's a different caliber of import player that really in our 12, 13-year history we've ever been able, really to secure and lock up at such a young age and get him to commit and sign and that sort of thing. So that one, for me, really is just I'm over the moon with excitement to get him here and see what he can really do once he meshes and fits in with these guys. So, we just could not be more excited. I think as an organization, we're in a great spot. I think we're on the upswing in a big way here. And it's been a tough grind and a lot of tough decisions and a lot of tough months and weeks and days to get to this point. But it certainly is very exciting. And Billy and I joke that it's, finally we're kind of through the storm, so to speak. And the brightness is coming and we're very excited and can't wait to make some noise here.
And I think that is a testament to this organization, what you guys have been able to do, because when you guys selected Gushin, there was some uncertainty, and there were some critics that would say, is he even going to sign in Niagara? Was it a wasted pick? Just how happy were you to kind of silence those critics and be able to actually sign him when most thought that, maybe that wouldn't happen if he was selected by Niagara?
Well, you know what? I love that question, and even more than that, I love signing him to silence. that made me very happy. There's not a lot of times, where I'm not getting, kind of chirped at times, I find, and criticized, and obviously Billy's the same way. Where when you do a move that you know in your heart is going to be so unanimously well liked, it's certainly exciting. And so we had him signed, just before the weekend there, and I knew we kind of waited a day or two before we got the announcement out, and I still saw the speculation, but I knew in the back of my mind, that we had the announcement coming and we had it done. So certainly, felt pretty giddy that way. That's more so than that is the excitement of getting him here. And I joke on the criticism, and obviously that's part of the course, but certainly, the most important and most exciting thing was, getting it done and knowing how much all these fans are going to love him come December.
Awesome. Well, lastly for me, what type, obviously, as you've constructed this roster, what type of team do you expect and want from your players as far as the mindset going into this next season and your communication with the coaching staff as well in that regard of implementing the culture and style of the next chapter of IceDogs hockey that you want to see?
Well, that's exactly it. And we've been building towards speed and skill. That's the way the game's trended to, especially at the junior level. That's the way we want to play. We want to play fast. We want to play hard. We want to play dynamic. We want to have skill. I think our coaching staff does that really better than anyone in the league. I think the players that we brought in will fit that suit perfectly. And again, the direction to these guys is that it's, we are not competing for, 9th or 8th this year. It's, we want to win, and we want to, not only make the playoffs, but win a round or two and make some noise in the playoffs and really be a team that's slept on a little bit. So, no, it's from our end. From day one, it's play fast, play hard, play skilled, and play to win, because that's exactly what we intend and hope to do here this year.
Mm-hmm. And I guess in saying all that and all that excitement, lastly, Joey here, we recently had the exciting news that the OHL, drawing any setbacks, will hopefully start in its return to play format in December. They're targeting a December 1st date, but we don't know with things that are going on in the world that could possibly change, with subject to ensuring that players, fans, staff, and community are able to play and attend games safely. As the article stated, then over the next 4 months, the league will continue to work with government health agencies to finalize outstanding issues such as safe attendance at venues, cross-border travel. Additionally, the season will include a 64-game schedule and a 16-team playoff format, which the regular season is scheduled to end currently right now with Thursday, April 29th, 2021. What are your thoughts on this announcement, and how confident are you that the OHL will be able to meet this criteria by abiding by social distancing and everything like that over the next couple of months?
Yeah, so I was thrilled to see it. I think the number one most important thing from our end is to have a concrete, firm start date with December 1st. I think importantly, the players needed that. I think the fans needed it. Everyone needed to know, that at least there was some clarity coming through. So certainly from my end, was thrilled to get a start date, though it might have been later than a lot of people would hope. Obviously, in a situation like this, it's better to be safe than sorry and better to not rush things. So certainly we were quite pleased to get the announcement and, to get the December 1st date. And again, I'm extremely confident that we will be starting on the 1st. And again, there's certainly a ton of balls in the air, as you alluded to there, in terms of, the capacity percentage we'll be allowed to have and fans and, when exactly training camp can start and when exactly the players can report and, all these ins and outs. But certainly from our end, as an organization and as a league, we are confident that we're going to start on December 1st. And really, it's to the point, we need fans and we want fans and we don't intend to start without fans. And obviously the hope, from our end would be to follow suit with Atlantic Canada and, potentially get approval for 50% of capacity by December 1st and make increments from there. So certainly that would be ideal. But, as a league, we're extremely confident, as you alluded to, I can't predict whether there'll be a second wave, how severe things will be, and that sort of thing. But certainly all we can do is plan accordingly with what we know. And certainly in the discussions we've had as governors and general managers, it certainly has been laid out, that the plan is we're starting on December 1st, and in Niagara we're ready to start on December 1st, and we couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, I've seen a lot, even lately, that some sports are testing the water, so hopefully it's a good sign. I think I recently see somewhere, I think it was in Montreal, it was an MLS game that they let in some fans. So hopefully that's a good sign for things to come and nothing bad comes out of that. But I'm very excited for that. Are you encouraged by how maybe the NHL doesn't, maybe not in terms of the bubble, but how successful they've been in a manner of their return to play as a calming effect for the CHL, with hopefully their way of handling their hockey players to take preventative measures with the preventative measures that they will be taking necessary to go through an entire season?
Well, absolutely. And certainly, we follow suit with what the NHL does, really in the majority of our operations as a league in the OHL. So extremely encouraging. And really, when you saw kind of the way that the MLB stumbled out of the gate a little bit, and maybe didn't handle it the perfect way, but then you see how flawlessly really the NHL has handled COVID. And while they do have the bubble, they've certainly absolutely had a meticulous plan in place and really executed it every step of the way. So it's very encouraging to point at the NHL and say, look, it is possible to successfully get this done. Look at how great they've done it. That's very encouraging from our end. Again, in the junior level, things certainly would be structured differently, but it definitely helps, to put in our arsenal when dealing with the government that, the NHL has been able to do this very successfully. 95% of our teams play in Ontario. We feel we put together a package to the government that, we can get approval on and that we're all excited about and certainly following suit, to really take after the trends, and the advice and the example that the NHL has set has been extremely encouraging, and we absolutely will try and emulate them any way we can here.
Okay, so awesome, Joey. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to join us again. And I know I speak for Brandon and myself to be able to cover the IceDogs last season for the first year as media members and getting to know the organization. Hope to talk to you again soon. And if you can make any more moves, if there's any news between now and then that is significant, you may be hearing from us earlier than expected, whether you like it or not. But be healthy, be safe. We look forward to talking to you more next season when it does hopefully get underway in December for what should be a super exciting and optimistic season for the team. So thanks, Joey. Thanks, Joey.
No, absolutely. And thank you guys. And again, it's my pleasure. Never a worry. And I'm certainly hoping we have enough action that, another chat will be warranted for us. But no, please, thank you. And again, love having you guys around. Love the work you do. Love listening. So it's an honor to be part of it. Thank you.
Awesome. I'll be able to give you an air high five next time we see you.
Perfect.
All right.
And there you have it, folks. There is our interview with the general manager of the Niagara IceDogs, Mr. Joey Burke. Very much appreciated for him taking so much time away again to talk to us about some hard-hitting questions that the IceDog fans want to know about with this team in the offseason, and just how optimistic and excited we are going into this next season with what should be a great, exciting young core of IceDog players.
Oh, yeah. And always great to talk to Joey again. That was fantastic. I'm loving it, his excitement. You can really tell with his excitement level that he's ready to get this going, especially with the team that he's built going into this next season with guys like Daniil Gushin. You can saw how much he talked highly of him, and guys like Pano Fimis, who was most likely and going to be our next franchise centerman, and just the potential return of Tucker Tynan, who I'm so excited that he's been doing well in his progression to getting back from that horrific injury. And you know what, I'm all out excited, just as excited as he is, for sure. Absolutely.
So like you mentioned in the intro, hopefully we get to talk to Joey in person this season, get a little bit more insight from him there, but again, it was great to talk to him for a second time and to address some of the stuff that's happened in the off season, which to your surprisement was not a month ago. It was actually 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So there was a lot to talk about within that 1 month that you thought that we hadn't interviewed him in.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
We all got a good laugh out of that one. But anyways, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's special edition of the Dog Pound Podcast and our interview with the Niagara IceDogs general manager, Joey Burke, right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network, your source of North American sports coverage by sports fans, for sports fans, delivered to you right here in the good old Niagara region. As always, I'm one of your hosts of the Dog Pound Podcast, Cappy. You can follow me on Twitter at Caputs13 of the Canadian Zed. As well, you can follow my co-host and co-owner, Kyle, at just Kyle51. Some Toronto Maple Leaf stuff if you're into that. I'm not, so don't give him a follow. But
okay.
Follow him for his NHL commentary series. It's been really good stuff with the Seattle Kraken, which should just be his favorite team since the Leafs aren't doing him any good. But anyways, done ripping on Kyle Ham. We're done on the episode. Big thank you to all of our great sponsors who help put us on, support the network, keep the show on the air. Make sure you're checking them out and telling them that the Armchair GM sent you. Make sure you're also supporting your local business during this time. It's very important. And finally, to you viewers out there and IceDog fans for tuning in and listening along with this episode, hopefully you enjoyed it and got some insight from the general manager on what to look forward to from this team. Once again, Dog Pound Podcast on the Armchair GM Sports Network, by sports fans, for sports fans. Bark, bark, bark. Go Dogs, go. Be safe. We'll see you guys soon.